crossing over to Mombasa, our business editor, O'Brien Kimani, is currently on standby with two guests. We're talking about re-engineering the construction sector, so in matters security and compliance as well. He's in the coastal city of Mombasa. Good morning, O'Brien.
Well, asante sana, Ben, Troy, Joy, in Broadcasting House. And we want to welcome you all now to the city of Mombasa, where we are going to take up another great conversation around how to reinvigorate, how to strengthen, and how to embolden the construction industry here in Kenya. For now, for the current generation, of course, and of course for the future generations. And we are talking about an industry that contributes about 3 to 4% to our national wealth every year. And the value of this critical industry is estimated to be around 1.3 trillion Kenya shillings. And that is significant by all standards. And the question is then, how do we create a sustainable construction industry? And how do we put the right people in this important sector? This can only be achieved through the concerted efforts of both the national as well as the county government, plus the help of the private sector, who are some of the major investors in this industry. And that's why this morning we're going to have this dialogue, bringing together people in the national government as well as the devolved units. And joining me on my immediate right, we have the governor of Uasin Gishu County. This is Dr. Jonathan B. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Bona Governor, for your time. And of course, next to the governor, we have Francis Mwangangi. He is the deputy governor for the county of Machakos. Thank you very much indeed for your time. And finally, we have Stephen Mwilu, architect. He is the manager for compliance at the National Construction Authority. So you agree with me that we have a beautiful cocktail here of good brains who are going to guide us through this conversation. And of course, I am O'Brien Kimani. I just want to start with Stephen Mwilu. The reason why we are here is because of all of us are here under the auspices of the multi-sectoral agency committee. And you've been having this conversation on how to strengthen it and, of course, how to relook at the issues facing the construction industry since Monday. Your mandate, you've been around since 2015, 8 years down the line.
Thank you, O'Brien, and good morning, Kenya. Yes, since Monday, we have been discussing on how to strengthen the construction industry. It is true that the industry has some challenges. We don't want to hide our heads under the sand. We do realize that we have challenges that require collaborative effort between the national government, the devolved governments, and all of us, including the media and the public. Yes, currently we are all talking about the National Building Code, which is coming into being from 1st of March 2025. We are asking ourselves, what does each entity play? How do everyone come into place as we this code going forward? Thank you.
Yesterday, there was conversation around the county government and the gaps they are in when it comes to strengthening the construction industry. And some of the issues that were raised were, number one, lack of professionals, at the county level to oversee and to implement projects. And number two was enforcement by county government when it comes to, for example, the building code and building regulations. I want to hear from you. Your county is one of the latest to give us a city in the name of Eldoret City. What capacity do you have as a county to oversee the growth and the expansion of the construction industry?
Thank you, Brian and Kenya. Good morning. First, I want to say this discussion is very good, and I'm very happy that I am part of the session. I attended this meeting yesterday. Eldoret is one of the fastest growing cities, I think, in our region, and it is strategically located in the sense that it is a gateway to Uganda, the western part of Africa, to southern Sudan, and of course the western part. The upsurge of towns coming up and the speed at which we are getting so many buildings coming around requires that we have to be very ready for it. One, we put policy in place that will help us, zone the city so that we will not surpass the areas or the boundaries required. The residential unit, there's residential areas, the commercial areas, the agricultural sector, and all that. Uasin Gishu naturally is a farmer's county. And there is that temptation that the town can encroach into the farmer's land. And as we move forward, we have the personnel, but this personnel require a lot of capacity building, and I would wish that they should have been here so that through the lessons that we learned yesterday and maybe today, we will be able to capacity build these people. Secondly, it is not enough to say we have engineers or we have architects or all those, but we want to ask how many are registered from these people so that they can give quality services. And of course, in the planning of our city, naturally, when people heard that now Eldoret is a city, there is a lot of migration from the rural folk, especially the young people. Now it calls upon us now on the preparedness. How can we, accommodate these people? We are seeing the affordable housing program coming in, but again, it is not as quick as we thought. So it requires a lot of planning, it requires a lot of consultation, and as a government, we have put measures in place. There is also a temptation, Windu will agree, that those parts of Elgonview and Eldoret and some residential areas, now commercial buildings are coming up, and soon they will run away to some safer places because the moment you have this commercial building and the entertainment zones, places where people want to come for clubbing, then you will just move. Nobody will chase you away. So I think we need strict policy on how to protect the interest of various users of this city. And as a county, we are prepared, and only that we didn't anticipate that it will be so quick that people are moving. We have a number of institutions in Uasin Gishu County. Moi University being the oldest, and the University of Eldoret. We have Moi Teaching and Referral, airport and all that. Anybody who moves to Eldoret City will never go back. That's when we've gotten to note that anybody who moves to Eldoret City will not go back to wherever they came from. And then second to Nairobi, we have the highest concentration of professionals. You talk of architects, engineers, you talk of what they are all here, and the lecturers and all that. So it has a lot of potential to become something better. If we follow this kind of multi-sectoral discussion on buildings, on housing and land, I think it will be the best place to live in. And remember, Brian, we have the best climate in the world. Mm-hmm. That's why Muzungu left that place late when everybody else had gone away.
but also we also have to appreciate the fact that with the exponential growth of new cities and towns, I mean, we're also facing another challenge of rural to urban migration. And because of lack of planning or enforcement in terms of physical plannings and use, we're ending up with towns that are not well planned, towns that do not have proper utilities, towns that do not have proper infrastructure. And Uasin Gishu or Eldoret town is not immune to this. That's why you're having unplanned building, mushrooming everywhere, unplanned settlements coming all over the place. And so as a county government and as a CEO of Uasin Gishu County, how well prepared and what steps are you taking to ensure that the Uasin Gishu of 2035, of 2040 is well planned and well executed?
Very good. Thank you so much, Brian. What we are saying is, what is it that we are supposed to do to come up with a very smart city or a city where it is well planned? And the problem has been with the department where it approves these buildings. So the approval time of the buildings that are coming and the approval department, sometimes either it delays or they get compromised, and it has happened before. It is not only in Eldoret, but sometimes you will ask yourself, what is it that building is there and the natural mind will tell you it's not supposed to be there. And the fortunate thing about Eldoret City, we've never had buildings collapsing. Even a small toilet cannot collapse. I think the way, but still that approval.
Is it maybe because you're not having so many buildings coming up?
The approving team sometimes either delay or compromise. It just for us now we are putting strict measures. We are a city. Eldoret town has been there from 1912, now 100 and something years, 112 years. Now, cognizant of the fact that we are now a city, we are calling upon the likes of me here and the department so that you can have interactive session with my technical people, especially in as far as planning of the city, and then coming up with the building and the sewer lines and all that. We are also cognizant of the fact that we are growing, and that one has really given us a lot of challenge. But the problem now is, where will the city end? Where is where will the city start and end? So people will say, let's go vertical. Uasin Gishu, I would suggest that we don't have to expand so much, especially in the city, because we are a farmer city. And these people who are coming to these towns, and we feed Kenya. Sometimes I would suggest that with the proper planning, we don't go encroaching on the farmers' territory, because we need food. We need enough supply of food. And happy for us now is we have ready markets for the farm products, that the people are here and the food is there. So what I'm doing as a governor is I want to put in place very serious professionals, especially in the line of approvals of building, in the lines of planning, in the lines of zoning the city, so that we will not go beyond your boundary. If it is residential, it is residential. If it is agricultural, it is agricultural. If it is commercial, it is commercial. But there are many dynamics coming up.
Very good. Well, I'll come back to you, but I just want also now to bring on board the Deputy Governor for Machakos County, Francis Mwangangi. I mean, you've been a member of Parliament before, so you've been part of the legislative team. And when you look at Machakos County, I mean, it is part of what is classified as the Nairobi bedroom that composes of Kiambu County, Kajiado County, and Machakos County. And you have seen exponential growth in the last 20 years. Machakos and Nairobi County, I think now they have, you don't even tell where the boundaries are. And so with this growth, I mean, it's also coming up with so many challenges. As the Deputy Governor of Machakos County, what measures have you put in place to ensure that going forward, the people who are migrating to Machakos County, the high population growth being experienced in your county, they find suitable laws for construction, and of course, there are proper safeguards to ensure that the buildings that are being put in Machakos County, they meet the...
Thank you, Brian, and thank you for this program and the meeting that has been here since Monday, beginning of the week. Allow me first to comment about the meeting and then I come to the question.
All right.
It's very important.
And I also want to recognize that you've been here since you've been here since Monday, actually.
That's true.
It's my boss who was supposed to be here.
Yes.
And, she sent me and I have to obey.
Wonderful.
Now, first and foremost, this is a very critical meeting. Let's all agree in this forum that every county, as a result of devolution, as a result of devolved many functions, every county is growing. There is construction, whether for road, whether for any form of infrastructure. There is always something that is happening in terms of construction. That is very critical.
Yeah.
The only thing I think we need to appreciate, promote professionalism in this country. That will be my take. Why am I saying this? Efficiency and effectiveness is very important. In Machakos, when Governor Wabina came in, the approvals were almost taking 1 to 2 months. Today, the maximum is 3 weeks. And I've sat in a meeting where she's demanding that those approvals they be reduced to almost less than a week. Why are we...
The turnaround time.
Yes. Why are we pushing this kind of scenario? Nowadays, we are competing globally, and as we sit here, probably this program is being watched globally by many people who would wish to come and invest in this country. Now, once you land in this country, there are counties. You want to go where there is competitiveness, where people are valued, where processes move faster, because we can lose a competitor at Uasin Gishu. Uasin Gishu here might lose a very critical competitor to Machakos, depending on how that the environment of doing business is. So the ease of doing business and this workshop that is happening here are very critical, and I've had every session we are talking about effectiveness, how we can ensure ease of doing business. Now, coming to your question in Machakos specifically, yes, Machakos is the bedroom of Nairobi, and what I've seen Governor Wavina's administration do is to ensure we insist on proper planning, insist on ensuring proper infrastructure is put in place. And that has enabled us even to some areas collaborate with the national government. His Excellency the President has visited Machakos more than 5 times since he came to power. And then he comes to launch some of these programs that we are doing in collaboration. Now, out of the 5 visits, 4 of those visits have been in Mavoko, where there is a lot of development that is ongoing. The issue of housing, the issue of sewerage system, the issue of roads, the issue of water infrastructure. I brought our president, the Kenyan president, to that particular area. So we are doing a lot, but more so is ensuring there is ensuring that there is a proper planning as far as our county is concerned.
Mm-hmm. I want
there
to
is
hear
also another thing.
Mm-hmm.
When we came in, we had around 3 engineers registered,
employed by the county government.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That number has gone close to almost 10. But
10
we have also graduate engineers who are slightly above 50, as late as
working with the
last
county
month.
government.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we are doing.
Do you have the services of an architect?
Yes, they are there.
Quantity surveyors?
Yes, they are there.
Very good. What
Yes.
about Uasin Gishu?
Same.
Is the same?
Yes.
I'll be coming back to you just to find out how facilitated they are. But I just want to bring Muilu into this conversation. You are in charge of compliance at the National Construction Authority.
Yes.
And you are in the midst of some of the agencies that you work with, the county government. When you look at the work that is being done by county government, what are some of the challenges that you are going to highlight that needs to be addressed by the devolved units?
Thank you, Brian, and thank you, governors, for the comments that you have mentioned. It is true that the counties that are represented here and the ones that are not represented here, we are working together collaboratively. Yes, we expect as we register projects, as we do compliance, that part of the work that we do is through activities of the county governments. Approvals is, as per the Physical and Land Use Planning Act, are done by the county governments. We work together for the purposes of quality assurance, site inspections, and issuance of occupation certificates. The county governments, and it has rightly been mentioned in terms of capacity building, the counties previously in the numbers of professionals, because as we go to sites for the quality assurance, we want the projects to have been designed, approved, and being supervised by professionals. As national government, we are working with the county governments in terms of sensitization, capacity building of their teams, and even the locals, the developers and the construction workers and site supervisors, and even the contractors in their fields. So going forward, and these MSAC discussions that we are having, it is bringing us into a discussion whereby maybe some counties might not have been aware that we need to work together, or even activities of other agencies. But we are realizing, and thanks to Machakos, already there exists an MSAC County government officials Machakos work with the NCA offices in Machakos. We do expect Uasin Gishu, now where we have an office, a regional office, that as well we have an MSAC where we are working. Not only MSAC existing in head office in Nairobi, but as well being devolved.
When the idea of forming MSAC, was conceived back in 2015, brought together various government agencies, as well as the three counties or four, Kiambu, Machakos, and Nairobi. The number of counties that are part of MSAC, emerging counties like Uasin Gishu.
Yes, O'Brien, that is very true. In fact, MSAC has already visited many counties as of now. We have visited Kajiado, we have visited Kisii, we have visited Kisumu, we have visited Murang'a, and many others. What we are saying is MSAC should not be based in Nairobi only. MSAC should be devolved. But of course, there must be a coordinating agency. And the coordinating agency sitting in Nairobi, where NCA is the secretary, will bring in terms of the Nairobi metropolis. And we have rightly said, the Kajiado, the Machakos, the Kiambu, and Murang'a, they are closer home. But Uasin Gishu, as an example, they do not need to be flying in for a meeting in Nairobi. But of course, they need to have their own MSAC, and where necessary, if they have issues that we need to deal on, then we can move on there. We need to have a well-planned program where we can go in every county. In fact, yesterday we were invited into Uasin Gishu next year, and the PS, who is the chair, did confirm that next year's meeting for the MSAC will be in Uasin Gishu. Thank you, Governor, for that invite.
And I have also heard the proposal that we also need to have regional MSACs, that reports to the national MSAC. Is that an idea that you're entertaining? And if yes, what kind of a form is it likely to take?
Currently, just to inform you that for the purposes of enforcing our mandate, NCA has 14 regions. You will realize that as a reason of the building code enforcement, we require to be in all the counties. But for purposes of making sure that we can coordinate all these activities, not necessarily on the county regions, we need to have blocks. Even in terms of economic blocks, we do know they are already existing or being formed in the different counties. So what is going to happen is we do have regional coordination as per the national government administrative offices. NCA is coming up with 13 regions. Nairobi, Kiambu, and Machakos, Nairobi, Kiambu, and Kajiado will be one region. Then we have the others. North Rift, of course, is going to be divided so that we can be able to have regions that can take care of the Upper Eastern, the Turkana, the West Pokot, and Kitale, that is Trans Nzoia. I don't know what these are. So the purpose of having these regions is to be able to be well and easily available to provide the services than only to wait for directions from Nairobi. So all the agencies, NCA, Public Works, NBI, DOSH, just all the 29 agencies that are already in MSAC, and including the counties, then they can come together and be in a position to sit together, coordinate, and be able to provide a service to the citizenry at ease.
When you look at development, it's guided by two critical documents: the land use and it's called land use
and
the physical land use and planning act.
LUBA.
Yes, and the county integrated development programs or plans, which are supposed to be developed by counties. When you look at Machakos County, for example, how are you using these two documents to guide development of the construction industry and ensuring that the projects that are being undertaken in your county are both sustainable and environmentally friendly?
First, there is something I want to share with the viewers, and this is supposed to be put well by none other than by both His Excellency Dr. B. That counties, unlike national government, there is the manner in which they are required to work. For example, in Machakos, it is dictated that every fiscal year, every financial year, But before that, when we came in, when we got elected, we had to go to people in each of the wards to ensure we got the priorities from the people. And we came up with a document called the County Integrated Development Plan. The same law dictates that every financial year you go back to the people, irrespective of whether you did the programs you are given or not. You must go back to the same people and get their priorities and confirm if what they gave still stands as their priority. So out of that, there is an annual development plan for the county for that specific financial year, whether there is money or no money. So in this case, counties are dictated on how to operate. You cannot just sit somewhere and think this is what people want. No, you must involve.
The process has to be consultative.
So public participation in Machakos is very key, and that is led by none other than the governor herself. She never delegates when it comes to public participation, which is something very good. So ensuring that what is in the annual development plan or county integrated development plan with any other legislation is key for us. Is very key, and that is where, when it comes to national development, we must work with agencies like the National Construction Authority and other agencies so that we can deliver to the people and that which is within the law and that which the people consider to be their priority. Yes.
Daktari, I've had these complaints. Some of the roles played by the National Construction Authority should be devolved to county government. But the question has always been, the county government, do they have the capacity? Do they have the technical expertise to undertake the work that is done by NCA? For example, the work of building inspections and approvals. It requires a very high level of expertise, technical expertise. If this role was to be given to the county government, do they have the expertise to do this job?
Thank you, Brian. Let me cite what you have just said, Honorable Mwangangi, that the spirit of devolution is to bring services down to the people and again give the people the opportunity to choose what they want. You know, sometimes as a leader you say, I will bring this road and then I will do this, and people will tell you fine, but this is what we want ourselves. Do that bridge. We didn't want what you told us when you are campaigning. So in fact they will count what you did for them because it was their decision, and then they say, where is yours now? We told you we needed this bridge, that is the bridge, we needed this road, and this is the road. Now you told us so many things, where are these ones of yours? So why we think devolution has come at a time when we needed it is because we are giving power to the common man to choose exactly what he needs for his own development. Secondly, when we do devolution, it's just devolution is devolution. That the office of my brother here should come down. In Eldoret, we are headquarters of an economic bloc called NOREP. NOREP is 8 counties, and it will be closer when we have that office, but we need to see how well can we work together, how much time can we give this EMSA team, and how can these people meet our technical people? Because at the end of the day, knowledge is dynamic. What we knew yesterday must change completely, especially with the advent of the IT and the ICTs and the new knowledge in the market. So I would suggest personally that when we have our people there on the ground, our planners, our architects, and all these supervisors, they should be kept abreast of the latest technology, so that we don't remain the old school of thought that really doesn't change. You come to Eldoret, for example, we are coming up with a regeneration plan for the city, because the way it used to do business and trading has changed completely. Now people are in ICT, and people are, others, they even don't require these big spaces in the offices, somewhere in a corner and you do your job. So I suggest that his office should come down, and of course we have proper meetings and quite a number of times, so that we keep ourselves appraised, so that we build capacity for the workers, for our planners, for the architects and all that. And again, there is a temptation that if you are an architect, it is so rare that you will stay in that field, in that region for a long time. Like mine, it was taken, I don't know where. Every time we get one, there are a lot of opportunities for them. So we need to, train more and capacitate more, so that at the end of the day, you will not miss something, especially when it comes to critical issues and decisions. So mine is, as we zone our city, we also have to come up with a plan, like in the next 10 years, in the next 50 years, and all that. So Eldoret now is becoming another city that requires a lot of attention. It's not just enough to say a city. So what after a city, what happens? So we need now to come up with a modern way of managing the city, modern way of planning the city, so that at the end of the day, other generations will really
also benefit
from
the current.
But what I am really conscious about is the upside, or the speed at which people are moving to the city, and because of opportunities, either business opportunities or looking for a job or something like that. How can we manage these people? Now, there is some new dynamics coming up. Eldoret Railway City. For sometimes we knew a city is just a city, but there's another city within a city. It is another dynamic, we've never heard of it, but when you look at it, there will be more benefits than even the usual, because they are coming up with a school, they are coming up with a hospital, they are coming up with some amenities, and of course houses. So the direction at which we are taking as a national government and county government is very good.
I want to hear this from Wangangi. There is a place for the county governments and for the National Construction Authority in the construction value chain. And both of them are interdependent. There is no institute here which is dependent. And the two agencies must work together for the benefit of the people that they serve. How can you improve the working relations between county governments and the National Construction Authority?
Before I come to that question, I think we have now almost 10-13 years of devolution. And I think whichever capacity that was required should have been built within that
by now.
It is like in structures. I'm sure His Excellency D must have found structures that were put there by his predecessor, who is now the senator. Equally in Machakos, we found the same. So in this case, whichever capacity is there, I believe counties have substantial capacity to carry on whichever mandate that is bestowed on them. The only thing is that we continue devolving what has not been devolved, because there are some which are remain, or you find some functions have gone to counties and still monies are stuck somewhere. That needs to be resolved.
That's why we have IBEX.
Yes. Now, coming to the question, I think in the law, it is provided for the collaboration between the national government and the counties. It is in law. It doesn't matter what you believe in politically. Any county government in this republic has to work collaboratively with the national government. So anything that might be lacking with whichever particular county, we can always reach out to the government. We have got no excuse whatsoever that we did not do this because of 1, 2, 3. We need, but the most important thing, and my boss, His Excellency the Governor, will agree with me, is the continuous capacity building, because that is where we are going. We need to devolve further downwards, not upwards. Centralism is what has brought this country where we are. Because when you look at economic tigers countries, some of them we contributed for them to start. Today they are way ahead of us. Why? Because we started decentralization at independence and we killed it. If we don't nurture well and support current devolution in Kenya, we are likely to go back to where we were. But I'm sure Kenyans are not ready to go back to centralism.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Before I come to you, I want to hear this from Mwilu. I know we are in the process of reviewing the National Construction Authority Act, so that it can now reflect the realities of today's world. I mean, NCA has been there since 2011. It is high time that the Act is reviewed, and I know that process is underway. Are there some areas that you feel or that you are working on that are going to improve how construction is managed at the county level and how the relationship between county government and NCA are going to work together?
Yeah, that's true, and thank you for that question. As I answer to that, it's good I give a basis on the functions of the NCA, so that at least we can see on how it relates. Currently, as per the NCA Act, just many functions, but usually group them into three. We have a regulatory function, we have training and capacity building function, and we have advisory. On the regulatory function, we do register contractors. All construction contractors currently in Kenya, if you are not registered with NCA, then you are not a contractor. And the classes are as men from NCA 1 to NCA 18, and the different types of works. Number two, we do register projects. All the projects that these contractors are undertaking, whether private or public, needs to be registered with the National Construction Authority. The purpose of this, because I do realize there has been many questions as to why we register projects, and currently we do not charge even administrative fees for that purpose. It's for data. It's for the purposes of any time there is an issue, do we have a database? Can we be in a position to know who are involved, the professionals, the contractor, the timelines, the quality control activities, and all that. We do accredit skilled construction workers and site supervisors. These are the actual workmen on the ground. We need to certify that the person doing it's accredited via some basic training. Code of conduct for the construction industry to make sure that everyone, every party can relate with each other in a better way. Lastly, in terms of regulatory, is the enforcement of the building code. Right now, during quality assurance or the inspection activities, whether by the county inspectorate or by NCA or any other government agency going to sites, we need to go and do quality assurance and inspections to comply with the building code. On training and capacity building, the workers, the skilled site supervisors and construction workers, and the contractors, we do train them. For the purposes of the contractors to get their renewal of their licenses, they need to have a training every year. For the workers, it's usually free. Yeah? And in that capacity building area as well, when we go to the different counties and fields, as well we interact with the members of the public, because they are the developers. Currently, in terms of anyone, when you are building your Manyata, when you are doing your skyscraper, you are still a developer. Advisory is through research. We do our research, and even when we are meeting here and have people either doing research directly or through consultancies for the purpose of advising the government, advising the county, and advising the citizenry. For the purpose of working together with the counties to make sure that areas that we can review our NCA Act and the regulations, one is on the areas to do with area of approvals. We do realize it's only counties that approve as Papluba. But in the issuance of the occupation certificate, it is not incorporated in terms of all the agencies to be involved. We do realize NCA is involved in the supervision, mandatory siting supervisions, compliance with the NCA Act regulations, and of course the enforcement of the building code. So we need to review that bit so that we can make sure that our counties, as they issue the occupation certificate, they have incorporated the views of the other agencies, NCA being included. The review of the contractors' evaluation criteria, the current is in the current Act and regulation. So as we review, we want to tighten it, we want to make it better, and to ease the way we act currently.
Very good. You know, I can see time is well spent, and we have about 3 minutes before we wind up. But I just want to give each one of you a minute each
let me say
to give their closing remarks. And I start with Dr.
I agree with him that government, national government and county governments, they work together. And since I became governor, I've borrowed a lot from the national government. The reason why we always have IBED meetings is because there are certain functions which had not been unbundled. And every time we meet, we discuss of the unbundled functions. At the same time, we say money should follow functions. And the reason why we want this to happen is because we want to serve the local community. Apart from that, there is a likelihood in cities that we can create slums without really being careful. That the plan, yesterday's plan, does not look like today's plan. When do we say this is a slum? So in order for us to be careful, I think we need to work with this team so much, so close, so that we don't make a mistake of coming up with slum-like structures. And at the end of the day, we will not really be a smart city the way we wanted. So I would suggest that going forward, because they are coming to my county next year, God willing, that we will allow as many technical people who are part of the developers of this city, the planners, the architects, and the rest, and the engineers, to be part of the people who will be attending, so that they will benefit from this new knowledge that will help us. And again, just to finish up this, we are so proud that the city of Eldoret is becoming a real thing. And people are coming, traveling from all over to see, because apart from just developing, we are a home to champions, all champions of soil, athletes, farmers, and the rest.
Very good. Yes, I'm giving you 30 seconds.
Thank you. One is, first I want to appreciate you for this invite to this multi-agency committee. We work together. That's why last year we participated. This year, Excellency was to attend, but she dispatched a team led by the deputy governor. Now, I want to say a few things. One is that we need to embrace professionalism in anything that we do. Let's allow professionals to do their thing, politicians do your thing, and at the end we will have a country that is moving forward. Number two, we need a 24-hour economy. In all cities and towns of where counties sit, that is how we are going to deal with this issue of unemployment, increased productivity, but quality productivity, because we are embracing and we are working using our professionals. And lastly is devolution is the way to go. Correct. Devolution is the way to go. For this country to faster transform and develop, move from where we are developing to develop, we must support devolution. That is not because today I'm here as a deputy governor or Dr. B is there as a governor. No, we need to focus on devolution as it is. And this meeting is very important. It's my humble request that the next one, they invite His Excellency the President and all our bosses, governors who participate in it. It's very important.
Thank you, O'Brien. I have 2 points. One-stop operations is the way to go in the construction industry. We need to do the e-permitting that we have been discussing, that all agencies need to work together and they provide one certificate or one certificate. When we are going for inspections, we really need to go there as a team, as a joint operation. Deputy Governor did mention about the tigers, the Asian tigers. It is true that Singapore currently has the one-stop shop kind of operations in terms of construction, permitting, and operations. It is doable. Lastly, it's to thank the governors, to thank the CS who was here to open this session. Deputy Governor has been here with us since Monday. But Governor B has been here with us since yesterday. We do expect Governor from Mombasa to be here with us today. And the CEOs who have attended this function from Monday, the CEO for NCA, CEO for EBK, and the others who have been with us. We want to thank them, and hopefully, Deputy Governor, next year, after, as we go to Eldoret, through the invite of the Eldoret Governor, of course, we hope that the leadership of the country will join us and we'll have outcomes that will change the way we are doing things in the construction industry. Thank you very much, sir.
Gentlemen, thank you so very much indeed for finding time to be with us here in Mombasa and to help us, weave through this conversation around, the construction industry and how to make it strong and how to re-engineer the construction industry at the national level and even at the county level. Asanteni sana for your time. I mean, that's the kind of conversation that we've been having here throughout this week, and of course, tracking the conversations taking place inside that hall where the multi-sectoral agency consultative committee has been meeting since Monday to deliberate on how to strengthen the construction industry here in Kenya, and of course how to grow the expertise that is needed to make a sustainable construction industry going forward. O'Brien Kimani is my name. Thank you very much. You have been watching Biz Check. We have Kurunzi Mashinani, which is coming up next after this. Asanteni sana for your time. See you later.